My heart is pumping. I'm so excited, so overwhelmed. I came here, Tala Beach, an amazing destination, luxury everywhere, green, tropical, into a chopper. So I feel like a rock star. I'm gonna cook today a recipe matching the green of the trees. Everything really green, really healthy, really tropical. I just need a little bit of bok choy, just nice and julienne. So separate the leaves, stack them one on top of each other, and just get into the knife, chop them really nice and fine. I had this recipe once a week. It's so, so healthy. A little bit of bok choy, just set aside. Tiny little bit of zucchini. Love zucchini. Just do some slices. And julienne again, just nice and tidy. Slice again, very nice and fine. So when we stir fry, it's gonna cook really, really fast. Very important to have everything ready and a really hot wok. I'm gonna use some asparagus, remove the stalks, and exactly the same. We're gonna slice them in an angle, nice and fine. Once again, set aside. Snow peas, love snow peas. They cook really, really nice. Stack them all on top of each other, once again, and there you go. Get into the knife. Chop, 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 chop. Because the vegetables, they got like chlorophyll, vitamins, all the good stuff. And to bring that out, we need to actually blanch them before we're gonna stir fry them. So what we're gonna do is gonna get a little bit of boiling water. We put a little bit of salt inside, so it's got a nice flavor. And just all the veggies into the boiling water. Just for a few seconds. Doesn't have to be for longer than 10, 15 seconds, because remember, we don't wanna cook them. We're just blanching them. We'll put them into the ice water, ice baby. There you are. And because we're gonna cook lovely tofu steak, we need this pan really nice and hot. Now, for the stir fry, a tiny little bit of chili, couple of garlic cloves, just roughly chopped on the side, and a tiny little bit of ginger, and just slice really fine once again. Shake it, shake it, shake it. There we are. Now that we have almost everything ready, we have a really, really hot pan, a wok that's perfect for a stir fry, and we're gonna chuck everything in the pan at the same time. Little tiny bit of olive oil, very tiny little bit, and voila. Hear that lovely sizzling. Shake it, shake it, shake it. Now, tiny little bit of cola, a little bit of purple basil, one of my favorite herbs. And for the flavor, tiny little bit of teriyaki sauce. Very salty, with lots of sugar, they caramelize lovely. Shake it, shake it, shake it. And now, the nice part of the recipe, the healthy stuff, tofu. Just cut a thin slice. Tofu comes from the soy milk. Soy meal is being coagulated, and after the curds get pressed into blocks. It's a fantastic source of magnesium, calcium, and iron, all the good stuff. They get the guns pumping. And it's really good for cooking. It's got a lack of flavor, and you can flavor it with anything you want. Plenty of sauces from Korea, from Japan, from China. It's a lovely piece of pure protein. Now, we're just gonna caramelize it a tiny little bit. In the pan, very nice and hot, and put it back into the stove. We wait until caramelize and get a little bit of color, and when that happens, we're gonna put a tiny little bit of teriyaki sauce too. I feel almost like Tarzan with all these trees around me. Okay, so we just caramelize it for one side, and after turn it. You see it's getting that lovely golden color, and now the lovely teriyaki sauce, the natural sugars of the teriyaki sauce start to caramelize with the heat in the pan. And it smells fantastic. Wow! Listen to that. Don't be scared of the bubbles. Put the heat down, and there you are. You see all the bubbles around the pan? They're actually the sugars caramelizing. Don't believe, because it's sugar in teriyaki sauce, it's actually gonna affect my healthy recipe, because it's just a very small amount of teriyaki sauce. So we put it in the top of the bowl, and we slice it in half. So it'll be really nice to present. And for finishing the plate, this is so healthy that even the almonds, they're raw. So we wanna put all these almonds to the stir fry for a little bit of texture. So now, most important part of the recipe, plating time. all the veggies in the base of the plate. That looks beautiful. It's got so many colors, so many flavors, and lots of aroma. It smells fantastic. And now the tofu on top. There we are. Looks beautiful. So healthy. You see, this Tarzan is gonna go and have lunch. So, le voilà. Hasta la vista, baby. So, for this recipe, what my favorite thing is, it's got all the amazing flavors from the chili, the garlic, the teriyaki sauce, getting to the tofu. And at the same time, such a natural place like Tala Beach, such a natural and healthy recipe like the teriyaki tofu, what else you can ask for? Say hello to my little friend. The wind is blowing, what a romantic tropical night. And here I am, me, myself, and I, and my favorite piece of seafood, the scallops. Scallops is something so amazing, simple to cook, but very simple as well to overcook. So I'm gonna show you in a couple of easy steps how to get things right. With the most tropical citrusy fruit, lemonade fruit, and you see lemonade fruit because it's the most similar flavor to Riesling. Riesling is the wine goes along with the scallops. So just cut your lemonade fruit in half, mixing bowl, and a little squeeze. A tiny little bit of extra virgin olive oil. A little chopping of chives happening here. Chop the chives, finely chop. At the same time, you're gonna give a lovely touch of green color. Put it into the bowl. And now, very simply, a little bit of seasoning. A little bit of salt going in the vinaigrette. And after with the whisk, we're just gonna try to emulsify slowly all that beautiful vinaigrette. Now, scallops, very, very important to cook them all at the same time when you have a really hot pan. When we put one first scallop in the pan, the first scallop will take over all the heat. And the second one won't caramelize the same way. So with a non-stick paper, really good trick, get all the scallops and stack them in the paper. So when we put them in the pan, all of them will go inside at the same time. Trying to get them all the same size so they cook at the same time. As I say with the seasoning, be very careful. So a tiny little bit of salt will do the trick. So crush all the sea salt crystals, and now sprinkle the salt on top of them very carefully to make sure you get a tiny little bit on each of them. So a little bit of tarragon that has been dry before. It goes fantastic with the scallop and it helps for the caramelized color. Remember, the tarragon has got that funny anisey flavor. It goes like music to the scallops. Tiny little bit of olive oil in the pan. Make sure that pan is smoking hot, like that. There you are. Switch off the heat so the scallops don't burn. And with your paper, make sure you get all the scallops in your pack on your hand, and all at the same time. Listen to that. Caramelizing all at the same time. Very even heat. And now, as you can feel with your finger, the scallop needs to be nice and plump. If it starts to change the color to really bright white, it's because we're overcooking it. So, change it. Look at that color, please. What a master. Unbelievable. There you are. Switch off the heat. The residual heat in the pan is gonna do the rest of the job. Now, tiny little bit of lemonade fruit juice, deglazing all the amazing flavors that the scallop is leaving in the base of the pan. Now for the garnish, a little bit of lemonade fruit segments and a tiny little bit of salt. Very, very simple to get the segments out of the lemonade fruit. Slowly peeling off, getting rid of all the white stuff. And the segment just coming by itself. Look at that, beautiful. One by one, in the plate. They don't need anything else. And now, baby chives. Break them with your fingers, nice and fresh, straight from the pot plant. and drizzle them. Look at that. And for the last touch, our amazing vinaigrette. Stir it with your spoon. And just a little drizzle. It'll be more than enough. Look at the colors. That will match fantastic with a nice glass of Riesling that I'm gonna order from the bar right now.
So it's a beautiful tropical night tonight, and I thought I'd make a cocktail that's lots of fun to make of a nighttime because I get to use fire. So what it usually is, it's usually a rum blazer, but tonight I've got something a little bit better to play with. So I'm going to use a nice Tennessee whiskey. So it's going to be lots of caramel and apple flavors, and you heat it up so you get all these beautiful fragrances. I'm going to start with just a few slices of the orange peel. I'm going to use those to light the spirit, and then we'll play with some fire. And then I'm going to use a twist using the orange peel as well. So this one you've got to be a little bit more careful with. It's really important to get the pith off because the pith of the orange is quite bitter. And I'm just going to stud it with some cloves. Beautiful. And I'll just put that aside. I'm not going to be too particular with measurements. We're just going to put a little bit of a splash in. Yeah, the best way to flame the orange zest is to hold the flame against it for quite a while. And you'll notice, you'll just get these little flickers. There we go. I'm just gonna drop one of the peels in there. All right, I'm just gonna light it up a bit. Let's see how we go. So I've got some fire happening here. We're gonna see if it's gonna take off. And slowly, there we go. A little bit of fire from one to the other. Oh, it's getting nice and hot now. And then just to take that flame out, yum, yum. Oh, and then chuck some cinnamon in it. Get a big twist of the orange. Chuck it in, and then I'm going to slowly add a little bit of ice to it. I'm going to cut a couple of wedges, and so I've got a couple of brandy balloons. Squeeze that in, nice and juicy. And the reason I put it around the edge is so that the first mouthful you're going to get the orange and all the spices and the smells. So I'm just going to nice and slowly pour a little bit and chuck it in. Yum. So all the citrus and cinnamon and clove comes out when you smell it. It smells great. And all the flavors are really good too. They're perfect for sitting by the pool. I feel really spoiled actually.
When we are in Spain, the first thing we do at 5 in the morning is have a big cone full of sugary churros. They give you so much energy to have this big smile and be so hyper like me in the mornings. Very simple extra recipe. A little bit of milk, about 250 ml, into a medium-sized pot. A little bit of fat. We need lots of consistency in this mix. About 100 grams of butter, nice and rich, lots of energy. And the tropical part of the churros, very close here is a tropical farm that grows vanilla beans. This is vanilla paste that the owner made himself. This is something pretty amazing. That in only a little bit like that, the size of a nail, is around 10 vanilla beans. So because I'm crazy about vanilla, I'm just gonna put heaps of this stuff. And now into the heat until the butter melts slowly, so we don't bring it to the boil, so the butter doesn't split and dissolves through the milk. Churro, churro, churro. To help to dissolve, a little stir with a wooden spoon, it'll be plenty. White palm sugar. This stuff is got a lovely, amazing tropical flavor. It's really pasty, it's really dense, so we use a microplane and about a teaspoon worth into our mix. You see, it's really hard, it's grating in, and as soon as it hits the milk, it starts dissolving. The milk starts boiling, so we want to stop, get it out of the heat, and make sure that that butter is melted through evenly. As you can see, all the little black dots into the mix is the vanilla having a bowl, swimming around and enjoying this beautiful weather. Okay, now we're gonna sieve 110 grams of flour onto the milk and the butter. And with a back of a spoon, a little trick, little tick, 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 and slowly the flour is getting in. Once we sift half, we're trying to mix it in with the spoon. So the flour starts dissolving into the milk, and after we do the other half, we will mix with the whisk. Okay. Opa. And as you can see, slowly the consistency is changing and it's becoming into a dough. From a lumpy, ugly consistency, it starts to look beautiful, nice and smooth. So the dough is ready. Now, whack into the chopping board, and it's when the egg yolk's going in. So we just need the egg yolk. So very carefully, we separate it from the egg whites and we put it in the bowl. It's very important that when we whisk the egg yolks in, we do one at a time. One is done, and slowly the dough is getting that lovely golden, shiny color from the egg yolk. Okay, separate it from the egg whites, and the second one goes in. And the third egg, and go in. Make sure you whisk it in. There you are. And all the mix is nice and even. So now, we just need a piping bag, nice and blue, and a star nozzle. They will give a lovely shape to our churros. Bing. To do this, very simple. Cut the tip of the piping bag. You cut it off and get the nozzle from inside the piping bag. So you will get a lovely star shape our churros. Hello. Now, fold the piping bag towards your hand so you don't make a mess at home. And now, scoop the dough inside the bag. This will hold a whole day without being in the fridge. Okay, so now, all in, push, 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 twist, and there you are. The churro dough is ready to go. As you can see, when you scoop it in the frying oil, it's gonna have a lovely star shape. So now is when the frying time starts happening. Make sure the piping bag is nice and tight, and always do the pressure from the base. Never press from here. And when this one, you're just directing, like a professional pastry chef. Pushing, directing, pushing, directing, pushing, directing. So into a very, very hot oil, 170 to 180 degrees. So it will crisp up right away. Get the churros in the mix and start piping. Beautiful. I feel like in Spain, like a churrero master. La la, la 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 la. I love this. It brings me so many memories from home. There you are, the oil is so hot, and I think they'll be ready to scoop out soon. There you are, they fry so quickly, and they're nice and crispy straight away. So we're gonna put in this funky leaf here. The hotter your oil is, the much better they're gonna crisp. And as you can see, that dark brown color is because the palm sugar. And now, a little bit of dark chocolate chips, and the twist, tropical twist, a little bit of chili. And it goes along beautifully with the bitterness of the dark chocolate. So all you need to do, about 1 cup of cream, about 100 grams, 125 grams of chocolate, more or less the same quantities, in a very hot pot. Get your cream in there, they will boil straight away, and get the chocolate after, straight away. We'll chop this chili in half. Opa. So just infuse the cream, and now the chocolate. It's gonna melt so quickly because it's so hot here. There you are. You see, slowly, the chocolate is melting through the cream, and we switch off the heat and let the residual heat to do the rest of the job. So the chocolate sauce is finished already, and now we put it onto the glass. There you are, nice and hot. And now, to give a little sugary crust to the churros, a tiny little bit more pan sugar on top of the churros. There you are. Lovely tropical twist. And just mix it into a banana leaf bowl. And in Spain, to serve the churros, you always use the newspapers from the day before. No newspapers from the day before here, but it's plenty of banana leaves. Roll this into a little cone. There you are. Beautiful. Set it into the glass and just put the churros inside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 7, 8, 9. And a little bit of this lovely sugar sprinkled on the top. No newspaper, just banana leaves. And as you can see, a real Spaniard, the matador, even if he's in paradise, always misses Spain. And I feel homesick. So that's why I'm bringing Spain back for me.